How is it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE WrestleMania 36 Part 2 pay-per-view review. Of course, Part 2 of WrestleMania 36 aired on the WWE Network as well as pay-per-view tonight. And without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and jump right into the video into WrestleMania 36 Part 2. Of course, we did have the kickoff show 1 hour prior to the main show itself, which featured Natalya taking on Liv Morgan. I thought it was a good kickoff show match, not really much to it. I thought Liv Morgan shined pretty well. You had some nice chain wrestling, some nice counters, some exchanges. Nice overall kind of like TV match from the two of them. Liv Morgan at the end, they're kind of exchanging some roll-ups and whatnot, but Liv Morgan got the better exchange, roll up Natalya, got the pinfall victory over her. So Liv Morgan picked up a huge win on the WrestleMania kickoff show. Good to see her get the victory, and a pretty solid match overall, I thought. I thought it was a good way to start off Part 2. And then we go to the main show, of course, which opened up with the NXT Women's Championship match. Of course, Rhea Ripley defending against the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Charlotte Flair. This was a great opening match here. These two women went out there and just beat the holy hell out of each other. The chops were heard everywhere. They were just laying their shit in the stomps, hitting. Love the spot when, Charlotte was trying to lock in the figure 4 and Rhea was just hitting her, and Charlotte and her were just slapping each other back and forth. Just great aggression from both women. Rhea Ripley was selling her ass off for Charlotte. Charlotte was working on Rhea's knee to obviously lock in the figure 8 at one point, and Rhea was just selling her ass off like no tomorrow. You legitimately could, feel her pain as if she was in legitimate pain. It was incredible. So she looked like $1 million this match by far. And Charlotte was very dominant. Charlotte usually in these singles WrestleMania matches, I feel, Charlotte steps up and, she did with Asuka, and I feel like she definitely did with Rhea in this matchup. And, yeah, just great stuff all around overall. I know Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide early on for pretty great near fall, just because I thought that could have been the match right there. You could have had Rhea beat Charlotte that quickly, but they didn't. And they exchanged blows, and Rhea locked her into the inverted cloverleaf for, a great spot. So just a great overall opening match. And of course, the finish came with Charlotte locking in the figure 8 and Rhea Ripley tapping out and becoming your brand new NXT Women's Champion. Definitely was not expecting Charlotte Flair to become the brand new NXT Women's Champion, but it's Charlotte, so her winning another Women's Championship does not surprise me. But it definitely opens eyes to see what they're going to do next. What Charlotte's going to do in NXT, if she is going to move to NXT. It raises the doors to a lot of questions in terms of what they're going to do next with Charlotte in the championship. So I'm definitely interested, but just it kind of sucked to see Charlotte defeat Rhea, because I feel like they definitely had more to do with her with the NXT Women's title. But yeah, that definitely was a great way to kick off WrestleMania, the main show. Aleister Black taking on Bobby Lashley was the next match. They had a hot exchange at the beginning. Match led into the outside where Aleister Black attempted the moonsault. Bobby Lashley got out of the way, hit a belly-to-belly suplex on the outside to work over Aleister Black. For the majority of the match, worked him over. At one point was going to get the win, but, Lana was yelling at him to finish him off with a spear. Went at the spear. Aleister Black hits him with the Black Mass, gets the victory over Bobby Lashley. The match was fine. It wasn't bad. It was a good kind of little sprint. Bobby Lashley was just dominant for the majority of it, but for what it was fine. Otis taking on Dolph Ziggler. Otis comes out and is dominant over Ziggler. Ziggler tried to run away from him. Otis finally catches him, pretty much is tossing Ziggler around for the majority of the match. Ziggler has the upper hand, once Senator Vega gets involved, kicks Otis right in the balls, so he's, at this point dominant. Closing the win on Otis, hit him with a super kick, trying to count out victory. And then Mandy Rose comes out, and which the attire she wore, by the way. Holy shit. She comes out, bitch slaps Sonya Deville. They get into it. Otis capitalizes once Mandy low blows Dolph Ziggler. Otis hits a caterpillar. 1, 2, 3, defeats Dolph Ziggler. So Otis gets a win, and he gets a girl. Because afterwards, of course, Mandy kind of goes up to him, and they share a WrestleMania kiss. So Otis gets a victory and the girl. So Dolph Ziggler, poor guy, just more insult to his career. And yeah, the match itself was just whatever. It was pretty much what you probably would have expected. Just, Dolph Ziggler getting his ass kicked. But, it was a feel-good moment for Otis to finally get Mandy at the end. So that's all the match was absolutely working for. And then we go to the last man standing match, the return match of the Rated R Superstar Edge. Of course, he took on Randy Orton in a last man standing match. And this match is obviously getting a lot of mixed reviews. It went nearly 40 minutes. And, if you watched the 24 special on Edge, which was fucking fantastic, you can definitely tell he had a chip on his shoulder to prove to himself. And After watching that, I mean, I watched that before WrestleMania. You can see why he went 40 minutes with Randy Orton. Right from the get-go, Edge is waiting for Orton. Orton RKO's him out of nowhere once he revealed that he was dressed as a cameraman. Fantastic start, if you ask me. These two brawl pretty much everywhere into the PC. They go into the gym area at one point where Randy Orton tries to wrap gym equipment around Edge's neck, which is pretty eerie considering they just did the Dark Side of the Ring special on Benoit recently. So that was pretty eerie seeing that. They brawled over the PC, and these two beat the shit out of each other. But the thing is, and I understand why people don't like this match, because it really was kind of a rinse and repeat. They would just brawl, then they would sell for a good while, brawl, sell for a good while, brawl, sell for a good while. So it did kind of seem like they were just repeating the same steps. So I understand why people didn't like the match really that much. But, I appreciate the story they're trying to tell. I thought it was great for that sense. Their selling was fantastic, especially Edge's. I think everyone was pretty much concerned for Edge, considering how great he was selling this match to Randy Orton. Orton tried to kill him by throwing that little thing, you run across in the gym and, push. He tried to run that into Edge, but Edge got out of the way, thankfully. Well, not thankfully, but obviously wasn't going to hit. They brawl in the backstage. A cameraman gets taken out, which I thought was pretty hilarious. They brawl into the PC everywhere. They brawl into a production truck. Gets that vicious to the point to get on top of that. Edge hits a spear on Randy Orton for a near count. Orton hits him with an RKO for a near count, and then Orton decides to take him out with a concerto. Edge hits a spear in Orton, and then he hits him with a concerto as he's just bawling his eyes out, which is just tremendous storytelling. Someone made a great comparison. Edge was acting like Jon Snow did after he killed Daenerys in the Game of Thrones series finale. It was a great touch. Edge looked like he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. He was having tears before he had that concerto, and of course, referee got to the 10 count on Edge. And yeah, I thought it was great for the point of a story aspect. Now, the one gripe I think majority of the people have this match, I think that's why people are kind of shitting on it. Commentary was horrendous. Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton dropped the ball big time on this match. They took pauses. Like, they would not say anything for like 2 or 3 minutes, and they would talk again. They seemed so disinterested. So commentary is the one big knock I think everyone is taking on this match. And rightfully so, because they were absolutely terrible. But for the story purposes, and I thought Edge's first match too. I mean, this guy has wrestled 2 matches since being back, and he's wrestled over an hour for being gone for 9 years. Like, you got to appreciate that. So I appreciate what Randy Orton and Edge had. I like what they're going for. I do think it did go a little too long. Almost 40 minutes was not needed. Definitely could have shaved 10 to even 15 minutes off that time, honestly, and I think it would have had the same effect. But yeah, I appreciated what they had, and I thought it was a really entertaining match, besides the fact that commentary was absolutely terrible during it. So what can you do? Rob Gronkowski wins the 24/7 title. He does a dive onto Mojo Rawley as well as a bunch of NXT talents win the championship. So that happened. We go into the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Of course, the Street Profits defending against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. This was a nice little sprint, your basic, kind of tag team match. Angel Garza did the spot where he tears his pants off. Montez Ford had a nice hot tag, hit the frog splash onto Austin Theory, and then, Angel Dawkins rolled over for the pinfall. So it was a fine little Raw Tag Team title match for what it was. And then afterwards, Zelina, Austin, and Angel attacked the Street Profits, which led to Bianca Belair coming out. She came out, gave Zelina Vega a spear, followed by the Kiss of Death, and celebrated with the Street Profits. So obviously, the rumors of Bianca Belair possibly being with the Street Profits post-WrestleMania is going to happen, because she is now with them. I thought it was a cool little moment for her, especially for her and Montez Ford, obviously. So yeah, the Raw Tag Team match was fine for what it was. It was a nice sprint. But yeah, it was a cool moment for Bianca and Montez Ford to have afterwards. Fatal 4-Way Elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Tamina, Naomi, Sasha, and Lacey Evans. Not really much of a match here. They all team up on Tamina to eliminate her. They all pin her after, Bayley hits the elbow, Sasha hits a frog splash, Lacey the moonsault, Naomi with the split-legged moonsault. They all pin Tamina. She's out. Naomi's out after she submits to the bank statement to Sasha Banks. Sasha gets eliminated by Lacey Evans once Lacey hits the right hand onto Sasha, and Lacey pins Sasha to eliminate her. Then it's down to Lacey and Bayley, and they go at it for a little bit, and then Sasha ends up getting in the ring, hits a backstabber on Lacey, which is followed by Bayley hitting her finish for the 1-2-3. Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nothing really of important of a match. The match went way too long, by the way. It went like 20 minutes. I feel like this match definitely should have been half the time. The story, obviously, was between Sasha and Bayley. At one point, you know, Bayley broke up a pin for Sasha. But then at one point, you know, when Bayley realized she didn't need Sasha anymore, she sat there and watched Sasha get pinned right in front of her and didn't do anything about it. So I thought it was good storytelling. Or no, I think it was vice versa. I think Sasha's the one that broke up the pin for Bayley. I apologize, but then Bayley let Sasha get the pinfall or get pinned later on the match. So obviously the story was to add tension between two of them, but the match itself just wasn't really that entertaining, obviously. I thought the Lacey Bayley stuff was good towards the end. I bought into Lacey possibly winning the championship, but besides that, not really much of a match, really. And then we go to the Firefly Funhouse between John Cena and the Fiend Bray Wyatt. This was very unique. This was great. I absolutely loved every second of it, but it really wasn't anything of a match. It's kind of more of like a spectacle. So Cena comes out as doing his entrance, and they kind of like do a weird thing where they appear into the Firefly Funhouse. You know, Bray summons Cena. Cena appears. He goes into a door that Bray told him not to go into, and then they kind of recreate Cena's debut. Cena comes out in his old school, his debut attire. He comes out in his complete look. They redo his debut where obviously Bray Wyatt's in the role of Kurt Angle. They do that, and then they transition to like an old Saturday Night's Main Event where Cena's supposed to be playing the role of Hulk Hogan, and then we go into another time where Cena's, you know, rapping, and then you do a segment with Bray, and then it goes to him being Hollywood Cena, you know, as if he was in the NWO. And then they, you know, go back to recreate Cena's match with Bray at WrestleMania 30 and just try to recreate that finish, and they try to change it. Pretty much the whole thing is supposed to be like a time travel thing with Cena and Bray, and it worked great. I thought the way they were presenting it, the way they factored into their story, it was tremendously produced, and I thought WWE did an excellent job with the presentation of the Firefly Funhouse with John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Now, did I enjoy it as much as the Boneyard match? No, I didn't think it was as entertaining as that, but this definitely was up there. This was greatly produced, like I said, and I thought Cena and Bray did a fantastic job, especially at the end. You know, the finish where the Fiend finally does show up against Cena, and then, you know, hits the mandible claw, Sister Abigail, and, you know, the mandible claw back on Cena to take him out. I thought everything about it was fantastic. The way the story was played into it, it was tremendously played out, like I said. They did a great job covering the entire story of John Cena and Bray Wyatt, and the references to, you know, Cena being Hogan, and, you know, him being on top, and then him, you know, turning to Hollywood. And they even had, you know, the Vince McMahon puppet. He even did the infamous "This is such good shit" quote that, of course, if you listen to, you know, John Moxley's interviews once he left WWE, I know that once he left WWE, I believe he said it on Talk Is Jericho. I believe that was one he said it on, the interview he said it on. But about Vince saying that this is such good shit. I thought them utilizing that line for this Firefly Funhouse was excellent, having the puppets say that. So, yeah, Cena and the Fiend, so much fun to watch. Match really wasn't a match at all. It was just pretty much Cena getting hit with the Fiend's finish. But, yeah, very entertaining cinematic feature nonetheless. Alright, then we go to the main event of WrestleMania 36 Part 2, the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar, of course, defending against Drew McIntyre. I can pretty much tell you the entire match. Lesnar hits him, or not Lesnar, McIntyre hits Lesnar immediately with a Claymore for Lesnar to kick out. McIntyre goes for another Claymore, Brock gets out of the way, hits some suplexes, hits an F5, McIntyre kicks out at 1, Brock hits another F5, McIntyre kicks out at 2, hits another F5, or goes for another F5, but McIntyre gets out of it. Claymore, and a final Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre is your brand new WWE Champion. Very short WrestleMania main event, but the match pretty much went exactly how I would have thought between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, so I can't really complain. But yeah, Drew McIntyre is WWE Champion. Very, very happy about that. I wasn't too sure if WWE was going to pull the trigger on it, but they did. And Drew McIntyre is the first person since Batista in 2005 to win the Royal Rumble and win their very first World Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. So very, very awesome accolade for Drew McIntyre to have. Not many people can claim that, so I'm very happy he's one of the few that can. And yeah, McIntyre becoming WWE Champion definitely was a great way to cap off the show as well as WrestleMania weekend. And overall, like I say, WrestleMania 36 Part 2, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was good for what it was. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did for WrestleMania 36 Part 1 yesterday, but I still thought it was an enjoyable show. You know, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair definitely had a fantastic opener, I thought. Edge and Randy Orton, I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought the story was great that they were able to go out there and tell. Cena and the Fiend was very fun. I love watching how that was presented. And of course, Drew McIntyre becoming the WWE Champion just was a great way to cap off the night. So, definitely had its moments and definitely had, you know, some good stuff on it, but like I said, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Part 1, but it still was a good way to cap off the weekend. Overall, I gotta say, given the circumstances that the WWE were in, I thought they went out there and had a pretty good WrestleMania 36. I thought, you know, with the combination of Part 1 and Part 2, I thought overall it was a success. I enjoyed it, had fun. I thought WWE did a good job of getting everyone's mind off of what's going on in the world and producing us with some quality, entertaining TV. And I thought WrestleMania 36 definitely did a pretty good job in that aspect. So I thought WrestleMania 36 was good overall. Definitely was a solid 2-night event, if you ask me. Really much enjoyed Part 1. You know, I thought Part 2 was good for what it was. Could have been better, but you know, I thought just the way the matches, just the way the cards were produced, I thought, you know, just Part 1 got the better end of the matches. But yeah, Part 2 definitely was a good way to cap off with the weekend, like I said. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. WrestleMania 36, WrestleMania's come and gone. Just a weird situation overall. Hopefully next year in LA, which I'm hoping to be attending. That's my current plan as right now. Hopefully none of this happens and we can, you know, have a big WrestleMania like we're supposed to do this year. So very much looking forward to next year. But overall, like I said, I thought this year, given the circumstances, was a success. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. Of course, the next time, I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching the video.